This is a 1955 Ford F-100 short bed. Take this for a quick drive and I'll show you around. One of the things I like about this truck is it's got a 1964 Thunderbird 4-barrel drivetrain in it. So it's the big block 390 V8 automatic cruise-o-matic transmission and rear end. You can hear the transmission shifts out nicely. Truck's got a lot of power, you know, putting a 390 in here. I like the fact that it's got a Ford engine in it as well. Push on that handle and the vent pops up. Steering is good. Got a little bit of play in the steering wheel. Other than the upgraded drivetrain, that's it. It's still all original as far as the frame. It's been uncut and everything, so it doesn't have power steering. It doesn't have power brakes. The gauges do work, or the speedometer at least does. I believe the fuel gauge does work too, and then the rest of the gauges are the aftermarket gauges down at the bottom. Now it doesn't have power steering. When you get in a real tight spot, it does. It is a little tougher to steer, and you know that's kind of normal, especially with the bigger tires. Now one thing this truck does have is a little bit of an exhaust leak out of one of the exhaust manifolds. I'll pop the hood and let you hear the engine. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. Sometimes I can and sometimes I can't. There we go. It's nice when I can do it with one hand. So you can hear that there's an exhaust leak down here. You can see actually a little clamp on there. I'm not sure that clamp was necessary, but I might have gone after it. I just want you to hear that the engine runs awesome. Aside from that exhaust leak, obviously. Really good running engine. I think what they may have gone after that to put a new donut on, and maybe broken that bolt. I'm not exactly sure why there's not that clamp is on there, but I just want to be honest about it. I actually thought about going ahead and putting a new exhaust on, going back to factory original, and I think what I'd like to do instead is just lower the price down a little bit from, you know, having it perfect, and let the next guy do it, because I don't know if the next guy wants to put on shorty headers, long tube headers, put the factory original, you know, exhaust back on. But I did get a price to have that repaired at my muffler shop, and like I said, it's only the passenger side exhaust manifold. The driver's side is totally fine, so you wouldn't have to even mess with that. Probably looking at about $300 or $400 to fix that, even if you needed to put a new manifold on. And then I thought about going ahead and spending another $300 or $400 and putting a whole new dual exhaust on. So that's really not that expensive. That would give you a whole, you know, kind of a whole new sound and feel for the engine itself. Sounds like it runs awesome aside from that exhaust leak. And I really appreciate the fact that it's got, like I said, the Ford drivetrain in it. Nice clean firewall. Everything's been primered, and really the truck is kind of a shop truck, I would say, kind of a shop truck quality style truck. As far as the underneath goes and stuff, there's some spots where, you know, you'd need to do a little bit more body work. It's not primered, ready for, you know, a really high-end paint job. Now that being said, it is pretty straight, and actually I think it looks really cool the way it is. I think these trucks pull off these old trucks pull off this primer as like a paint, and I think they look really cool. But once I show you the interior, and I know you saw the dash at the beginning of the video, I thought about just getting a color match on the dash and painting the truck that color, because I just love that. That's that kind of a seafoam green that was popular back in the 50s, and man, these trucks just pull that color off really nice. It's got the little V8 emblem in the front, which is nice, but I believe it was an original 6-cylinder truck. I think it's a D code VIN. I'll have to double check it. It's got brand new chrome rings around the lights. It's got a brand new front and rear chrome bumpers, which is really nice. Brand new chrome wheels and brand new tires. So all the chrome on the outside looks really good. Even this emblem looks, probably it appears to be original, but in really good shape with only just a little bit of the paint coming off back there. Nice clean new chrome filler nozzle there. And I love these blue dot lights in the back. Like I said, new chrome rear bumper. So there's a few spots that you'd have to block out and maybe skim coat here and there if you wanted to go with a higher end paint job, or even just a nice driver quality paint job, a little bit of blocking and sanding, and I think that you could really make this truck sharp with a fresh paint job. But I think, like I said, I like the fact that you could drive it just like it is. Underneath the inside you've actually got an all new interior. I think maybe this, I'm not sure what the story is on this door. There was some repairs that were done, but it got primered. So if you look underneath it, you can actually see the green. So the rest of the interior looks awesome. And then they primered this, and I think maybe he was thinking about changing the color. The guy who owned it before me. Handles look good. Nice door panels. Nice clean seat. No rips or tears. Actually looks like not too old of a upholstery job. Matching headliner, which looks really clean. Sun visors. Nice unmolested dash. There again, the glove box has been primered. So I think I would, if it was my truck and I was going to keep it, I'd get a color match on that dash. I'm trying to get up on there and show you that green. And I'd probably finish off this door and that over there, maybe do a few touch-ups. But the interior looks really nice. Somebody took time to, build this little hideaway for the steering column and all of that. So horn works, old school style. One thing that is not hooked up correctly is the brake. The guy that I got it from says he put a new master cylinder on it. I think it needs to be bled and checked out. It stops a little hard, and also the brake switch is not on. Actually, these little lights right here, if you turn these lights on, those turn the brake lights on and off. So something pretty simple. Not sure exactly why people do stuff like that, and it's just, that's part of old trucks. People do stuff like that. This is some sort of an aluminum floor in the bed. It could be easily patinaed to make, or even made to look like, distressed to make look like a wood, but it actually looks really nice. You could also actually put the wood bed right on top of this, and that would look really sharp. Bed looks like it's in good shape, not dinged up and dented too bad, as well as the tailgate. Underneath the truck, it looks like years ago somebody cleaned up a few spots under here, or attempted to, and then did some undercoating. Step-ups look good, but some really heavy undercoating in some of these spots. You'll notice that's not actually fiberglass even, that's just some really heavy undercoating in some of the spots. And I've seen a couple trucks like this, not very often, but I do see them every once in a while, where it seems like people go after that. This is the cab corner, which looks like it was repaired. In the outer, or at least maybe on the inside, the outer cab corner's got a hole there. You can see about the size of my finger. So a couple little spots here that might need a little bit of attention, and looks like this rubber boot could stand to be replaced as well. But this is no rust bucket, and that's what I was trying to point out, that underneath the truck you've got a nice clean solid frame with the undercoating, and that undercoating looks like it was put on in the 70s. I mean, that doesn't look like it was done anytime recently. Looks like somebody was trying to prevent the truck from getting rusty and went after it with some of that old school stuff that they used to use back in the 70s. So I even see it underneath there on the bed, if you can see that. I'm gonna try to zoom in there a little bit. Step-ups look like they're in good shape. Cab corner on this side's got a couple of little bubbles and some rust right there. but nothing major. That's the only rust that I'm actually seeing on the truck that actually is really apparent. I don't think that there's really much rust on this truck, and that was another thing that attracted to me a lot. I like the fact that it's got the upgraded drivetrain already. I think that's a real bonus, and I think this is a really great truck that somebody can mess with, especially through the winter. This is a great winter project truck that it runs and drives just like it is, so you could still take it to your fall drive-ins and stuff like that, and then get it in the garage during the winter, and you know, tinker with the brakes, maybe put a new windshield that does have the wiper scratches on it. Maybe go after painting it, blocking it out. Like I said, one thing I like is it, just like it sits, it's a good looking driver, and it runs good, it drives good, but it's also got some stuff left to do so that you could project on it and make it your own and have fun with it. So I like trucks like this. I kind of feel like sometimes they're the best of both worlds.